A warm welcome to all my students. Today we will study about opposition to British rule in Karnataka. In this unit you will learn about Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, Dondiawad, rebellion of Amarasulia, rebellion of Halagali Bedas, Anglo-Indian Wars, rebellion of Kittur, Rani Chennamma and Sanguli Rayana, rebellion of Surapura. These are the topics we are going to learn in this lesson. In this session, we will learn about Tipu Sultan and Anglo-Indian War. In Anglo-Indian War, we are going to discuss about the third and fourth Anglo-Mysore War. In the previous session, we had learnt about Hyder Ali and first and second Anglo-Mysore War. Tipu Sultan felt that the British are the major obstacle for his policy of expansion. So, he tried to drive them out seriously. He became the ruler of Mysore after Hyder Ali's death. He understood the cunning policy of the British. He considered it as his duty to drive the British out of India. He waged a war against the British throughout his 17 years of rule. Tipu's main intention was to expand his kingdom. And he also knew the main obstacle for him is British. After his father's death, he became the ruler of Mysore. He decided that his duty is to drive British out of India. He waged a war against British throughout his 17 years of rule. He had clearly understood the cunningness, strategy, clever manipulations of the British. He knew that hurting the business interest of the British could weaken the political strength of the British. He tried to organize the enemies of the British into one group. He tried to break the monopoly of the British over trade with India. These attempts were further angered the British and their enmity with Tipu Sultan grew up. He had understood the cunningness of the British and the clever manipulation of the British. He knew that hurting the business interest of the British could weaken the political strength of British. So, he organized the enemies of the British into one group. Next, he tried to break the monopoly of British over the trade with India. Tipu Sultan was a Mysore ruler after his father's death. He started ruling Mysore. Throughout his reign, he fought the battle against the British. His main intention is to drive the British out of India. The Third Anglo-Mysore War. The politics of Travancore was the main reason for this war. the king of Travancore, built a fort in Kochi with the help of British and captured Ayakote and Kanganur fort from the Dutch. All these were the clear breach of Mangalore Treaty. The British captured Karwar, Coimbatore, Dindigul and other regions under the leadership of Meadows. The main reason for the Third Anglo-Mysore War was the politics of Travancore. The king of Travancore built a fort in Kochi with the help of British and also captured few places from the Dutch. The British captured Karwar, Coimbatore, Dindigul under the leadership of Meadows. Tipu Sultan entered the region of Baramahal and captured Satyamangalam. He later attempted to capture Tiruchirappalli but failed in his attempt. Meanwhile, Lord Cornwallis took over the leadership of British Army and this changed the course of war. Tipu entered the region of Baramahal and captured Satyamangalam. Later, he made an attempt to capture Tiruchirappalli but failed. Meanwhile, Lord Cornwallis took over the leadership of the British Army and changed the course of war. The British Army captured Kolar, Hoskote and rushed towards Bangalore under the leadership of Lord Cornwallis. Army captured Bangalore and destroyed the fort. After capturing Bangalore, Lord Cornwallis sought the help of Marathas and Nizam of Hyderabad to defeat Tipu Sultan. The war took another conclusive turn with the joining of Maratha and Hyderabad forces with British. Under the leadership of Lord Cornwallis, the British Army captured Kolar and Hoskote. Later, they will move towards Bangalore. The army captured Bangalore and destroyed the fort. Lord Cornwallis will take the help of Maratha and Nizam to defeat Tipu Sultan. This war took another conclusive turn with the joining of Maratha and Hyderabad force with the British. Maratha captured Savanur, Gajendraghat, Lakshmaneshwar, Hubballi and other places. The combined army marched towards Srirangapatnam by capturing fort in 1792. The fort was destroyed during night. Disturbed by these developments, Tipu Sultan tried to enter an agreement with the British. It was inevitable for him. He signed the Treaty of Srirangapatnam in 1792, which had unfavorable conditions. With this Third Anglo-Mysore War came to an end. After British sought the help of Maratha and Nizam of Hyderabad, the Maratha captured Savanur, Gajendraghat, Lakshmaneshwar, Hubballi and other places. Later, combined army marched towards Srirangapatnam by capturing the fort in 1792. The fort was destroyed. Due to these developments, Tipu was disturbed and he was forced to enter into the Treaty of Srirangapatnam in 1792, which had unfavorable conditions. With this, the Third Anglo-Mysore War came to an end. Tipu was forced to sign Treaty of Srirangapatnam in 1792 and which had unfavorable condition. And this is the end of Third Anglo-Mysore War. The British were successful in inserting unfavorable conditions in order to weaken Tipu Sultan. Tipu, forced to part with half of his kingdom, was forced to pay 3 crores rupees as war damage fee and had to pledge 2 of his children as a guarantee against the payment. He was also forced to release the prisoners of the war. The British withdrew the combined army from Srirangapatnam. These are the terms of Srirangapatnam. Terms of Treaty of Srirangapatnam, which he signed in the year 1792. Tipu was forced to give half of his kingdom to the British and also was forced to pay 3 crore rupees as war damage fee. And as he was not able to pay 3 crores rupees, he was asked to pledge 2 of his sons as guarantee against the payment. So remember, first he had to give half of his kingdom and he was forced to pay 3 crores rupees as war damage fee. As he was not able to pay this amount, he was asked to pledge 2 of his sons. Later, he was also forced to release the prisoner of the war. These were the terms of Treaty of Srirangapatnam. So, British were successful in implementing unfavorable condition in order to weaken Tipu Sultan. Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Tipu fought against the British in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War and he lost his life. Tipu Sultan took the defeat in Third Anglo-Mysore War personally. He paid all the dues and got his children released. He also gave away the territory to the British and its ally as agreed. He claimed his right over the Malabar regions under the British occupation, but British refused this argument. Lord Wellesley became the Governor General of India in 1798. The political activities against Tipu Sultan became intensified during this period. Tipu Sultan was defeated in the Third Anglo-Mysore War. He took it personally. First, he paid all the dues, got his children released from the British. Later, he gave the territories to the British and its allies as agreed. He claimed that his right over the Malabar region under the British occupation, but British refused this argument. Lord Wellesley became the Governor General of India in 1798. Tipu's attempt to form an alliance of local rulers and his closeness with French angered Lord Wellesley further. Tipu sent an ambassador to France to seek the alliance of French. This enraged the British. They thought that an alliance between France and Tipu Sultan could be threaten the existence of British in India. Another treaty containing inhuman and impractical condition was forced upon Tipu Sultan. Tipu rejected this. His refusal started the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. As I told you in the previous slide, Tipu was defeated in the Third Anglo-Mysore War and he took it personally. He knew that he cannot avoid the battle with the British, but he should be prepared for the battle. So first, he makes to attempt to form an alliance with local rulers, and his closeness with the French angered Lord Wellesley. Tipu sent an ambassador to France to seek the alliance of French. This further enraged the British. The British knew the alliance between the France and Tipu Sultan could be a threat for their existence. Tipu was forced to sign another treaty. He did not agree. This led to the next battle, that is Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. The war started in 1799. The British were able to destroy the strong fort. Tipu died while fighting the British in 1799. With the death of Tipu Sultan, the British were happy as if the whole India came under their rule. Most of the territories under Tipu's rule was shared among the British, Maratha and Hyderabad Nizam. A small territory was handed over to the royal representative of Mysore Wadiyars. This region came to be known as Mysore Princely State. The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War started in the year 1799. The British were able to destroy the fort. Tipu died while fighting in 1799. After the death of Tipu, his territories were shared among the British, Marathas and Hyderabad. A small territory was handed over to the royal representative of Mysore Wadiyar. This region came to be known as Princely State. Today's assignment: Treaty of Srirangapatnam was inevitable for Tipu. Explain. You will write the terms of Treaty of Srirangapatnam. First, Tipu was forced to sign Treaty of Srirangapatnam. According to Treaty of Srirangapatnam, he had to give half of his territory to the English. Next, he had to pay 3 crores rupees as war damage fee. As he was not able to pay 3 crores rupees, he was forced to pledge 2 of his sons to the English. Later, he had to release the prisoners of the war. So these are the 4 conditions you have to write regarding Treaty of Srirangapatnam. Next question. Write a short note on Tipu Sultan. you will write Tipu was the Mysore ruler. He had ruled after his father's death. He waged war against the British for 17 years. Then you have to explain about his role in Second Anglo-Mysore War. That is, you have to explain from Malabar region. You have to explain from Malabar region, and later you will explain up to Treaty of Mangalore. From Third Anglo-Mysore War, you have to write up to Treaty of Srirangapatnam. You don't have to explain about Treaty of Srirangapatnam. Only you will write he played an important role in the Third Anglo-Mysore War. About that you have to give a description. Then later the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War you will explain, and finally he died in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War in the year 1799. So these are the points you have to write about Tipu Sultan. Next, the Fourth Anglo-Mysore strengthened the position of British in Mysore. Discuss. Now here you are going to explain in detail about the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Starting from how Tipu took the Third Anglo-Mysore War as a personally. You will start explaining from there, and he was forced to sign a treaty and he did not agree. Due to this, the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War took place, and later he died in the battle in 1799. And you will explain about the result of Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. The territories were divided among British, Maratha, Nizam of Hyderabad, and a small territory was given to the Mysore Wadiyar family. So these are the points you will write about the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Is that clear, children? Thank you. In the next session, we will meet. Thank you.